the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rob Susan every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Army troops clashed with NPAs on Oriental Mindoro. 3 soldiers sacrificed their lives. Philippine Navy drives away 2 Chinese Coast Guard ships near Batanes. DFA to lodge protest over dangerous Chinese maneuver in Scarborough. DILG bans personnel and local officials from online gambling.
Hello to everyone, especially to our troops at Camp Emilio Ginaldo in Quezon City. Today is Wednesday, August 13, and this is AFP Committee News, your source for the updates on the armed forces and other developments across the country. I am Rob Susan Abay here to bring you today's story.
DWDD Armed Forces
For the
News.
brief overview of our news, soldiers from the Army's 2nd Infantry Division engaged in a firefight with New People's Army terrorists in Barangay Lantuyang 2, Baco, Oriental, Mindoro yesterday. According to the 203rd Infantry Brigade, the clash erupted during pursuit operations following an August 9 encounter in the same area where troops recovered several abandoned war material. 3 soldiers sacrificed their lives and 3 others were wounded in the latest gun battle. The injured are now receiving immediate medical care. Authorities are still verifying the number of NPA casualties as pursuit and clearing operations continue to hunt down the remaining rebels and secure the community.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines refuted a circulating YouTube video falsely claiming a naval standoff between Philippine and Malaysian forces. AFP officials clarified that no such incident occurred, calling the video a fabrication meant to strain the Philippines' 60-year diplomatic ties with Malaysia, erode the public trust in the military, and stir unnecessary tensions. They warned that such disinformation undermines peace and stability in the region and serves political or strategic agendas. The AFP reaffirmed its commitment to transparency, truth, and protecting national interests, stressing that the truth is our strongest defense.
Armed Forces Radio.
On the other line, let us hear more from Shaira about Philippines-Japan reciprocal access agreement to take effect on September 11.
Yes, good afternoon. The reciprocal access agreement between the Philippines and Japan will officially take effect on September 11, 2025. This was after the ceremonial exchange of notes between the Department of Foreign Affairs and the Japanese Embassy yesterday. Foreign Affairs Secretary Maria Teresa Lazaro and Japanese Ambassador Endo Kazuya led the exchange, witnessed by Defense Secretary Gilberto Chodoro Jr., marking a milestone in the two nations' strategic partnership. DND chief said the RAA strengthens defense cooperation, interoperability, and shared commitment to peace, security, and stability in the Indo-Pacific. This is Shai Rivera reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Shaira.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The Philippine Navy confirmed that 2 China Coast Guard vessels entered waters near Mavulis Island last August 7 in the latest Chinese maritime incursion within the country's exclusive economic zone. CCG vessels 3301 and 3304 ignored repeated radio challenges from BRP Emilio Jacinto while loitering in the area for 3 hours before leaving at 11 p.m. following the Navy's continued monitoring and assertive presence. Northern Luzon Naval Commander Commodore Edward de Sagon condemned the unauthorized entry and affirmed the military's commitment to protect Philippine sovereignty through regular patrols. The incident adds to a surge in Chinese maritime activity in recent weeks, with 49 Chinese ships spotted in Philippine waters last month, the highest monthly tally this year.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
Armed Forces of the Philippines Chief of Staff General Romeo Browner Jr. called out China of breaching the 2012 agreement to withdraw naval forces from Scarborough Shoal after a standoff. He said the Philippine Navy complied by the leaving, while the Chinese Navy remained a clear violation of the deal. He noted that while President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. ordered the AFP to maintain the moral high ground and avoid aggressive tactics, the presence of a Chinese warship at the show is another matter. The AFP chief said the Philippines can file a protest over the latest development. The Chinese embassy in Manila has yet to comment.
Armed Forces Radio.
And more of this from Jai. San Jose de Buwan officials renounce support for CPP, NPA, and DF.
Rough, local officials from 14 villages and 5 sitios signed an affidavit renouncing support for the CPP, NPA, NDF during the 2025 Local Peace Engagement Forum at San Jose de Buwan, Samar. The 87th Infantry Battalion hailed the event as a strong commitment in building insurgency-free communities through trust and collaboration. Vice Mayor Joaquin Irizalde urged remaining rebels to surrender and avail of government amnesty. The town, once a communist hotbed, is now pushing peace and reintegration programs for former rebels. This is Jai reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you so much, Jai.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The Philippine Navy sent off Naval Task Group 80.5 aboard BRP Antonio Luna for back-to-back international naval exercises in Malaysia. The contingent will join the 3rd ASEAN Multilateral Naval Exercise and ASEAN Fleet Review in Penang from August 15 to 22. And it will be followed by the 25th Maritime Training Activity Malfi Laut with Malaysia from August 25 to 29. Vice Commander and Acting Flag Officer in Command Major General Edwin Amadar said the deployment emphasizes the Navy's commitment to regional security, interoperability, and maritime stability.
DWDD National
For our
News.
national news, Malacanang said President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. would not back down and would continue to assert the country's rights in the West Philippine Sea. Palace Press Officer Claire Castro said the latest incidents in Scarborough Shoal reflected Marcos's leadership, where the Philippine Coast Guard still offered aid to personnel on the 2 Chinese ships that collided. She also said there were no new instructions from the president. The palace official reiterated that the president will not back down, the country will not be aggressive, and would only defend ourselves.
Armed Forces Radio.
From our report on the ground, let us hear the report of Beth Tañete about AFP joins PNP in 124th Police Service Anniversary.
Armed Forces of the Philippines Chief of Staff General Romeo Browner Jr. joined the Philippine National Police in celebrating its 124th Police Service Anniversary at Camp Crami, Quezon City yesterday. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. led the ceremony honoring the PNP's dedication to maintaining peace and order nationwide. The General Browner's participation highlighted the AFP-PNP partnership in safeguarding national security and public safety. This is Beth Tañete reporting for the AFP Community News, one AFP for the stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Beth Tañete.
DWDD National News.
The Department of Foreign Affairs is lodging a new protest against China's conduct of dangerous maneuvers in the Scarborough Shoal. DFA Secretary Teresa Lazaro said they are treating the issue carefully as she again conveyed Manila's openness to hold a diplomatic dialogue with Beijing. She added that they have to be careful and still go back to the process whereby diplomatic dialogue and discussions will be best for the situation. Meanwhile, in the same interview, Defense Secretary Gilberto Chodoro Jr. chided China from the latter blame the Philippines in the latest flared-up.
DWDD National News.
On the other hand, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. lauded the Philippine National Police's performance, saying it is on the right track. Marcos cited the decrease in the crime rate from June 2024 to June 2025, noting it was due to increased police visibility, faster response to emergency calls, and other interventions. PBBM then challenges them to ensure that during ordinary days and more so in times of crisis, there are personnel who will be ready to answer our people's call for help. He also added that this is how the government rebuilds trust to the police and that there is a system that the public can rely on.
Armed Forces Radio.
Let us hear more updates from Mike about 11th IB seizes CTG armed cache in Negros Oriental.
The 11th Infantry Battalion seized an armed cache of a communist terrorist group in Sitio Purok, Barangay Mantiquel, Siatun, Negros Occidental, recovering 5 high-powered firearms and other war material. The operation launched after a citizen tip-off yielded 3 M16 rifles, 2 M14 rifles, and 7 M14 magazines. 3rd Infantry Division Commander Major General Michael G. Samson lauded the troops' dedication. He emphasized that the success delivers a major blow to CTG forces and strengthen peace and stability in Negros Island. This is Mike reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Mike.
DWDD National News.
Nobody would be spared in the crackdown on anomalous flood control projects. This is what the palace said after the president launched the Sumbong sa Pangulo website. Palace Press Officer Claire Castro said the Marcos administration will ensure that sanctions will be meted out to contractors or even anyone close to him found involved in irregularities in flood mitigation projects. She added that even if it's close to the heart, even if it's a friend, the president will not spare anyone, and those who should be held accountable will be held accountable.
DWDD National News.
The Department of the Interior and Local Government has issued a directive prohibiting its personnel and local government officials from engaging in online gambling. The DILG said the directive was issued in line with the 1987 Constitution and Republic Act 6713, or the Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards for Public Officials and Employees. The directive and existing presidential issuances extend the existing prohibition on casino gambling to include online platforms, which the department says pose an equal, if not greater, threat to the integrity of public service. Violators will face administrative and/or criminal sanctions under pertinent laws, rules, and regulations.
Armed Forces Radio.
Let us hear more from Meljoy of 1st Year about NOLCOM Commander honors Air Force role in securing the northern frontier.
Yes, ROF Lieutenant General Fernil G. Buca, Philippine Air Force, Commander of the Northern Luzon Command Armed Forces of the Philippines, visited the Clark Air Base Council of Commanders in Pampanga to extend his heartfelt thanks for their unwavering support to Northern Luzon Command's mission of securing the nation's frontiers. During the Thanksgiving visit, Lieutenant General Buca awarded the Northern Maritime Frontier Campaign Medal and ribbon to Philippine Air Force leaders whose decisive contributions and seamless coordination with Northern Luzon Command's land and maritime forces were instrumental to the overall mission accomplishment in defending the country's northern maritime areas, including Bao de Masinloc, Philippine Rice, and Batanes Strait. As a jointly engaged, sustainment maintained, and readiness-trained force, Northern Luzon Command stands firm on the strength of unity, leveraging the full synergy of air, land, and sea components to uphold sovereignty and safeguard the northern maritime frontier. This is Meljoy Necho Arroco reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Meljoy of 1st Year G.
DWDD National News.
For other national news, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. will wait for feedback from stakeholder consultations that have yet to be scheduled before deciding on whether to impose a ban on online gambling. Palace Press Officer Claire Castro said PBBM would not make a hasty decision on the fate of online gambling. However, Castro assured the public that Marcos's meeting with stakeholders would be conducted as soon as possible. She also stressed the importance of conducting a comprehensive study and consultations with various stakeholders before implementing any significant policy changes.
DWDD National News.
The Land Transportation Franchising Regulatory Board is studying a petition filed by major transport groups seeking a provisional fare increase for public utility jeepneys. LTFRB Chairperson Chofilo Guadis III said the petition was filed by Pasang Mazda, Altodap, and Acto, seeking a 1 peso provisional fare increase. Guadis said they are studying the petition in detail to ensure that any fare adjustment is fair, reasonable, and based on solid justification. He also assured that the study will consider both the welfare of commuters and PUJ operators.
Armed Forces Radio.
Some information from Gina about Philippine Army pays tribute to fallen heroes in Oriental Mindoro.
Yes, Raf, the Philippine Army honored 3 soldiers who died defending the people of Oriental Mindoro from remnants of a communist terrorist group harassing indigenous peoples and vulnerable communities. Army spokesperson Colonel Louis de Maala also recognized the gallantry of troops wounded in the clash. He assured full support to their recovery and to the families of the fallen. Moreover, command officials vowed to relentlessly pursue the CTG remnants to bring justice to the victims and uphold the soldiers' legacy of service and sacrifice. This is Gina reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Gina.
DWDD National News.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. is open to calls to amend certain provisions of the 38-year-old Constitution if they seek to correct the constitutional ambiguities. Palace Press Officer Claire Castro issued the statement after Deputy Speaker Ronaldo Puno called for a constitutional convention to undertake a sweeping review and eventually propose amendments to address the Constitution's so-called vague language. Castro said the framers of the 1987 Constitution had already made the definitions and provisions clear, saying any perceived ambiguity was merely crafted to favor certain interests. But she said for now, Marcos has no firm stance on the proposal until full details about it have been released.
DWDD National News.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. received the proposed 2026 National Expenditure Program from the Department of Budget and Management. The NEP lays out the government's spending plan for next year amounting to 6.793 trillion pesos. The proposed budget is 7.4% higher than the enacted 2025 budget. The DBM would submit the 2026 NEP to Congress today, August 13.
DWDD National News.
The Department of Social Welfare Development and the National Council on Disabilities Affairs have rolled out the Unified ID System for persons with disabilities. DSWD Assistant Secretary Erin Dumlao announced that the rollout for the Unified PWD ID has commenced in San Miguel, Bulacan. This is the first of the 35 pilot local government units that will be able to provide a more convenient and efficient method of validation for their persons with disabilities constituents. The DSWD spokesperson also said the other areas scheduled to roll out the ID this week include the cities of Pasay, Muntinlupa, and Santa Rosa in Laguna.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
That concludes today's broadcast, and thank you for tuning in, especially to our audience on AFP Radio DWDD's Facebook page. Be sure to join and catch us again tomorrow for more stories and updates, same time and same station. Once again, this is Ralph Susan Abay for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Behold the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rob Susan every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Kayo ay nakatutok sa DWDD AFP Radio. Kami po ay kasapi ng KBP, Kapisanan ng mga Broadcaster ng Pilipinas.